Title: Voices in the Tent, the Daughters of Zelophehad opening scene, the edge of inheritance. The sun was setting over the dusty plains of Moab. The Israelites were camped on the threshold of the Promised Land, and there was a hum in the air, an anticipation. Generations had waited for this moment. The land would soon be divided, and each tribe would take its portion. But in one quiet corner of the camp, 5 sisters huddled close around a dim fire. Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah, daughters of a man named Zelophehad, a good man, a faithful man, but one who had died without sons. "They've been calling names for days," said Hoglah, frustration rising in her voice. Reuben, Simeon, Judah, all the clans lined up to receive land. And what about us? What about father's name? Milcah looked down at her hands, rough from work. "Our uncles say the inheritance passes through sons. That's the law." Tirzah, the youngest, spoke up softly. "But father didn't rebel. He wasn't like Korah or the others. He died in the wilderness like so many, just waiting. Shouldn't his name live on too?" Noah, usually quiet, stood. "If we stay silent, we lose everything. If we speak, they may laugh, or worse. But what if God wants justice for us too?" All eyes turned to Mahlah. As the eldest, her voice often carried the most weight. She rose to her feet slowly, her gaze set beyond the flickering fire. "We will go to Moses, to the tent of meeting, to the leaders and the assembly. We will speak, not just for ourselves, but for every woman who has felt like her voice doesn't count." Scene 2. The tent of meeting. The next morning, the camp stirred with life as news spread. 5 women were approaching the tent of meeting, not with gifts, not in mourning, but with a request. The crowd parted as they walked, tall, sure-footed, with wind in their hair and fire in their eyes. At the entrance stood Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the tribal leaders, men who had led plagues, wars, miracles, men used to making decisions. Mahlah stepped forward. The tent loomed behind Moses like a silent witness. She took a breath. "Our father, Zelophehad, died in the wilderness. He was not part of Korah's rebellion. He died in his own sin, as we all do. But he had no sons. Why should his name be removed from his clan, just because he had daughters? Give us a possession among our father's relatives." There was silence. Not outrage, not immediate denial, just surprise. Moses, bearded and weathered by years of interceding for his people, looked at the women. Then he turned without a word and disappeared into the tent. Inside, he did what he always did when faced with something unfamiliar. He prayed, and God answered. Scene 3. Heaven's response. God's voice rang clear. "The daughters of Zelophehad speak what is right. You shall surely give them a possession of inheritance among their father's brothers, and cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them." Not only that, but a new law was born that day. If a man dies with no sons, his inheritance shall pass to his daughter. Outside the tent, Moses returned and looked the 5 sisters in the eye. "You have changed the law for generations. You spoke, and heaven listened." Scene 4. A legacy of courage. Word spread quickly through the camp. Women whispered the sisters' names with admiration. Men nodded with respect, even if grudging. The law of the Lord had been altered, not by warriors, not by prophets, but by 5 bold women who dared to speak. Years later, when the land was finally divided, the daughters of Zelophehad received their inheritance in the tribe of Manasseh. Their names, Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah, were recorded not as footnotes, but as changemakers. Closing reflection. In a world that often silences the voices of the overlooked, this story echoes like a trumpet in the desert. If you are silenced, speak anyway. If you are told you don't belong, stand anyway. If you are told you cannot change the rules, go to the tent, go to God, and trust that heaven listens. God bless you, and do subscribe to our channel for more stories and inspiration.